Tell y'all this shit, cause this shit really been fucking with me, really been eating me up. I ain't never stiff with none of my partners, bro.
There's a situation that took place on social media that I want to see if you could clear up for everybody, man. Because people were saying, now this is rumor, this ain't me, they were saying that you had allegedly taken $70K from NBA YoungBoy somehow.
Some shit I holler at my brother about when he come home type, just some, you know, some in-house shit.
Okay, now why would people think that you had taken $70K from NBA YoungBoy?
Shit, he had said in the song.
Now, the way this whole thing came to light was wild. YoungBoy didn't just call Baby Joe up and handle it privately like you might expect from day ones who've been through everything together. Nah, he made it public through his...
Look, tell y'all this shit, cause this shit really been fucking with me, really been eating me up. I ain't never stiff with none of my partners, bro. You hear me? I was giving it high, you know, I was giving it, if you take meds, sometimes you forget stuff. You feel me? But like, I ain't no troll, and why I ain't never want to do this shit. But like, it's kind of getting out of hand. I ain't never go in my mood like that. Nigga too thorough, nigga changed my life. You feel me? Like, and that shit be hurting my feelings. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that shit be getting to me.
What happens when your closest homie, the one who helped you build your empire from nothing, allegedly steals $70,000 from you and then claims you were too high to remember giving it to them? This is the wild story that's got the entire hip-hop world divided right now. And it involves NBA YoungBoy and his former Day One partner, BBG Baby Joe. We're talking about a friendship that started in the trenches of Baton Rouge, built a multi-million-dollar movement, and then crashed and burned over what might be the most controversial theft accusation in rap history. But here's the twist that nobody saw coming. Baby Joe just dropped a bombshell explanation that's got everyone questioning everything they thought they knew about the situation. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this drama is way deeper than just missing money and how it reveals the dark side of loyalty in the music industry. So stick around until the end, because I'm about to break down the real tea behind this whole mess, including the shocking details Baby Joe revealed about what really happened that night and why he's now basically begging YoungBoy to take him back while watching millions slip through his fingers. Trust me, this story is crazier than anything you've seen on social media. Let me paint the picture for y'all real quick. BBG Baby Joe and NBA YoungBoy been tight since way back, growing up in the same streets of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We talking about real Day One type energy here. These dudes were grinding together when YoungBoy was just a young wild boy trying to make it out the trenches. Baby Joe wasn't just some hanger-on or clout chaser. Nah, fam. He was in the studio with YoungBoy from early on, helping craft that sound that would eventually take them both out the hood. They were building that whole BBG movement from the ground up, brick by brick, song by song. You could see their chemistry in the old videos and collaborations. When they were on tracks together, that brotherhood was evident. Baby Joe had his own flow, his own style, but it complemented YoungBoy's energy perfectly. They weren't competing with each other, they were elevating each other. The BBG brand became something bigger than just music. It represented that Baton Rouge street mentality, that loyalty, that ride-or-die attitude that both of them embodied. Baby Joe was part of that core group that helped establish what BBG meant to the culture, but y'all know how the story goes in hip-hop. Money changes everything, and when the stakes get higher, sometimes the people closest to you become the ones who hurt you the most. Success can be a blessing and a curse, especially when it comes to testing relationships that were built in struggle. Here's where things get spicy, and this is the part that got everybody talking. Word on the street is that NBA YoungBoy accused Baby Joe of stealing $70,000 from him. $70,000, fam, that ain't no small change we're talking about here. That's life-changing money for most people. There was a situation that took place on social media that I want to see if you could clear up for everybody. Man, because people were saying, now this is rumor. This ain't me. They were saying that you had allegedly taken $70K from NBA YoungBoy somehow. Some in-house stuff went down, and people started speculating. Now why would people think that you had taken $70K from NBA YoungBoy? Yeah, he had it sitting in his home. Now the way this whole thing came to light was wild. YoungBoy didn't just call Baby Joe up and handle it privately like you might expect from day ones who've been through everything together. Nah, he made it public through his music, dropping bars that had everybody in the streets and on social media trying to decode what really went down. The streets started buzzing immediately. People were dissecting every lyric, every social media post, trying to figure out the truth behind the fallout. The timeline of events had everyone talking. Some folks were saying Baby Joe really did take the money, that he got greedy and thought YoungBoy wouldn't notice or wouldn't care since they were like family. Others were saying there had to be more to the story, because why would someone who was already eating good off the
arenas
BBG
that hold
movement risk it all for
15,000 to 20,000 people
$70,000.
selling out
Baby
night
Joe
after
was
night.
getting his own
The
money,
merchandise
had his own
sales
deals,
alone
his own
probably bringing in
opportunities.
hundreds of
It
thousands
didn't make
per
sense
show.
for him to
Then
jeopardize
you
all
got
that
the
for what
ticket
to
sales,
YoungBoy
the
was
VIP
probably just
packages,
pocket
the meet
change.
and
But
greets.
here's what
This
made the
tour been a
situation
money-making
even more
machine.
complicated.
But Baby Joe,
YoungBoy
he'd been at
never
home
really came
dealing
out
with
and
legal
explicitly
issues that
detailed
got him
what
stuck in
happened.
Louisiana,
He just made it
unable
clear
to
through
even
his
leave the
music
state.
and his
Even if
actions that
YoungBoy
Baby Joe
wanted to
was
bring
no
him
longer
on
part of
tour,
the team.
Baby Joe couldn't
That
go
left a
because
lot
of
of
his
room for
probation
speculation and
situation
rumors
from
to
some
run
old
wild. The
charges he
hip-hop
had to
blogs
deal
went
with.
crazy with
Baby
theories.
Joe been real about
Some
how
said it
much
was
this
about more
hurt
than
him.
just
I love
money,
it, man.
that there was
I love
jealousy
it, man.
involved,
Man,
or
he
that Baby
deserved it,
Joe
man.
had been
You
moving
heard
funny
me.
for a
And man,
while.
deserved
Others
everything
suggested
right
maybe
now.
Joe
Ain't
was
no
getting
hating
too
bone in my
comfortable,
body.
taking
If I'm
liberties
going,
that
or
crossed
if
the
I'm
line.
not going,
For the
that's
longest
still
time,
something that I
Baby
love
Joe
to see.
stayed quiet
You know
about
what
the
I'm
whole
saying? Like,
situation.
I keep up with
He was
this.
probably
You know,
hoping it would
I
blow
watch
over.
all the videos.
Or maybe he was
I'm
trying to
watching
handle
from
it behind the
afar.
scenes.
I ain't participating
But recently,
right now.
he finally decided
That's
to
some
speak
real
up and
pain
tell
right
his version
there,
of
fam.
events.
Imagine
And let me tell
watching your
you,
day
his story
one
is
homie
completely
living
different
out
from what
y'all
people had been
dreams while
assuming,
you stuck
according
at
to
home
Baby
dealing
Joe.
with the
He never stole
consequences of a
anything from
situation
YoungBoy.
you
In
claim
fact,
you didn't even
he's claiming the
cause.
complete
Every
opposite,
night, YoungBoy
that
on
YoungBoy
stage
gave him the money
performing to
but was so
thousands of
intoxicated
fans.
at the
Baby
time that
Joe
he forgot about
probably
it
at
later.
home scrolling
Baby
through
Joe broke it
Instagram,
down like this in
seeing
his
all
recent
the tour
interview.
footage,
I never stole from
remembering
none of
when
my
that could have been
partners.
him up there
I would
too.
never take nothing
the
from
tour
none of
been
my
hitting major
partners.
cities like
Let me
Atlanta,
tell y'all this,
Houston,
because
Los
this
Angeles,
really been
New
eating
York,
me up.
all places
I
where
ain't never
Baby
stole
Joe
from none
probably
of my
got fans
partners,
who was
bro.
expecting
You
to
hear
see
me?
him. Instead,
I was
they
giving it
seen
how it
Big
was.
B, Ben
You know,
10,
if you
and the
take
rest
meds
of the crew,
sometimes, you
but
forget
no Baby
stuff,
Joe.
you feel me?
One thing
But
Baby
like,
Joe
I'm
been
not no
brutally
troll.
honest about is
I
how
never
his
wanted to
pride
do
been
this,
playing a
but
role
it's
in
kind of
this
getting
whole
out of hand.
situation. He
I
admitted
ain't never
that
gone in
even
my
if
mood
there
like
was an
that.
opportunity
Bro
to
changed my life,
reconcile
you
with
feel me?
YoungBoy, his pride
Like,
might be
that stuff be
holding
hurting
him
my
back from
feelings.
making the
You feel
first
what I'm
move.
saying?
My pride,
Like, that really be getting to
probably
me.
the biggest one.
It could
You
have
know,
been a
that's really what
situation
it
where the
is.
money
My
was
pride,
given
the
to him and
biggest
then
one, he
forgotten,
said in one of
because
his
YoungBoy
interviews.
might not have been in the right state or right state of mind at the time.
Pride is
That's
the
a heavy
biggest one.
accusation to
You know,
make,
that's
suggesting
really
that
what it is.
YoungBoy's
My pride, the
substance use
biggest
might have
one.
played a
This is
role in
some
the
real
whole
street
misunderstanding.
psychology right
Baby
here.
Joe was
In the
real
hood,
emotional
your
talking
pride
about the
and your
situation.
reputation is
You could
everything.
see it in
When
his face
someone
and hear it in
accuses
his
you of
voice.
stealing,
This
especially
wasn't just
someone you
about money
considered
for him,
family,
it was
that
about
cuts
his
deep. It's
reputation,
not just
his
about
name
the
in the
money.
streets,
It's about
and
the
most
disrespect,
importantly,
the lack of
his
trust,
relationship
the
with someone he
assumption that you
considered a
would
brother.
betray
He went
someone
on to
you love.
explain that when
Baby Joe
YoungBoy sobered
explained
up
that
and
he
saw
could
the money
pull
was
up on
gone,
YoungBoy face
he
to face,
automatically
and they
assumed
could
Baby
talk,
Joe took
but
it
right
without
now
permission.
he's just
But from
feeling
Baby Joe's
hurt
perspective,
and letting the
he was just
situation
holding
be what
money
it
that was
is.
given to him
He's
fair
not
and
pushing
square.
the issue,
The
not
problem
trying
is,
to
when
force a
someone's under the
reconciliation,
influence,
just letting
their
YoungBoy
memory
do
isn't
his
always
thing
reliable.
while he
So
figures
now
out
you've
his
got
own
two
path. You know,
different
like,
versions of
you
the
know,
same
I
event
just,
and
you
no
know,
real
I'm
way to
feeling
prove
hurt,
what
brother. You feel what I'm
happened,
saying?
unless there were witnesses or
so
video
right now, I'm just
footage.
letting
I
it
counted
be. I'm just
$2.5
letting
million
it be what
in
it
the
be.
house.
You know what
Y'all,
I'm saying?
$2.5 million
pushing
cash
the
money.
issue like that.
You think
That
I'd
hurt
steal
is real, and you can
$70,000?
hear it in his voice
I'm gonna
when
go
he
throw
talks
this
about
plate
the
away and come
situation.
back to see
This
what
ain't
y'all
just
say.
business for him.
$2.5
This was
million.
family. When
If you
family
steal a
turns
dollar,
on you,
you're still
especially
gonna be a
publicly,
thief.
that pain
I counted
hits
that money
different than
myself.
regular beef or
So y'all
industry
think I took
politics.
70 out of
While
that?
YoungBoy been
Make that
getting
make sense
richer
to
and
me,
more
bro.
successful,
I'm
Baby
gonna go
Joe's
dump this
situation
plate.
been looking
Baby
completely
Joe also
different.
talked
He's
about how
back
the
in
whole
the hood,
situation
dealing with
affected
the
him
same
mentally and
streets that both
emotionally.
him and
He said
YoungBoy
he was
were
really
trying to
hurt by the
escape from in the
accusation
first
because
place.
stealing goes
Baby
against
Joe
everything
been
he
honest
stands
about
for.
his current
In the
situation.
streets, your word
He
is your
recently
bond,
got out of
and
jail
being
on
labeled a
some
thief
old
is one of the
charges.
worst things
Nothing
that can
too
happen to your
serious.
reputation.
Just some
While all
stuff
this
from
drama
when
has
he
been
was
playing
younger
out,
that he had
the
stopped going to
consequences for
court
Baby
for.
Joe have
He
been
said it was
devastating.
really after he got
YoungBoy's been out
shot
here
that
selling out
delayed his
arenas
court
on his
dates,
massive
and
tour,
he started
making
forgetting
millions
about
and
them
building
until
his
it caught up
legacy
with
even
him.
bigger.
Now he's
While
trying to get
Baby
his
Joe's been
music
stuck
career
in
back
Baton
on
Rouge
track,
watching
but
from
it
the
ain't
sidelines
easy
like a
when you
fan,
don't have
that tour has
machine
been
behind
crazy
you anymore.
successful.
When you don't have
YoungBoy
that
hitting cities
BBG
all
support
across the
system
country,
that helped launch
bringing
his
out
career
special
in the
guests
first
like
place,
Lil
everything
Tim,
becomes
performing for
10
packed
times
crowds
harder.
every night.
He's been working on
The
new
energy's been
music, trying
insane,
to
the
build
money's
his
been
own
flowing,
label called
and it's been
Wabu
one of the
Records,
biggest
and
tours in
attempting to
hip-hop this
create
year.
his own
We're
path
talking
in the
about
industry.
arenas that
He's
hold
got
15
plans
to
for 2 new
20,000
projects,
people,
one
selling
called
out night
All on
after
Me,
night.
and another
The
called
merchandise
Open
sales
Book.
alone
The
are
titles
probably bringing
alone
in
tell
hundreds
you
of
where his
thousands
head
per
at.
show.
He's ready
Then
to
there are the
take full
ticket sales,
responsibility
VIP
for his
packages,
situation
meet
and
and
be
greets.
completely
This tour's been a
transparent about
money-making
everything
machine,
he's been
but
through.
Baby
But
Joe's
let's
been at
be
home
real.
dealing with
Going
legal
from being
issues that
part
got
of
him
one of the
stuck in
hottest crews in
Louisiana,
hip-hop to
unable to
trying to
even
make
leave
it
the
as an
state.
independent
Even
artist
if
is a
YoungBoy wanted to
major
bring him on
adjustment.
tour,
When you was
Baby
part of
Joe couldn't go
BBG,
because of
you
his
had
probation
built-in
situation
promotion,
from old
built-in
charges he's
features,
still
built-in
dealing with.
everything.
Baby
Now,
Joe's
Baby
been
Joe
real
got
about
to
how
build
much
all
this
that
hurt
from
him.
scratch.
I
The
love it,
financial struggle
man.
is real too.
I love it,
While he
man.
won't get into
He deserves
specifics
it,
about his
man.
money
You heard me?
situation, you can
That
read
man
between the
deserves
lines.
everything
He's
right
not
now.
living that tour
Ain't no
life
hating
anymore,
bone in my
not
body.
getting those
If I'm going
BBG
or if I'm
checks,
not
not
going,
part of that
that's still
young
something
boy
I
money
love to see.
machine that's been
You know what I'm
generating
saying?
What happens
Like,
when your
I keep
closest
up with it.
homie,
I
the
watch
one
all
who
the
helped you
videos.
build your
I'm watching from
empire from
afar.
nothing,
I ain't
allegedly
participating
steals
right now.
$70,000
That's some
from
real
you
pain
and
right
then
there,
claims you were
fam.
too high to
Imagine
remember
watching
giving
your
it to
day one
them.
homie
This
live
is
out
the
y'all
wild
stream while you're
story
stuck
that's
at
got
home
the
dealing with
entire
the
hip-hop
consequences of a
world
situation
divided
you
right
say
now,
you didn't
and it
even cause
involves
every
NBA
night.
YoungBoy and
YoungBoy's
his
on
former
stage
Day One
performing to
partner,
thousands of fans.
BBG
Baby
Baby
Joe's probably at home scrolling through Instagram, seeing all the tour footage. Remembering when that could have been him up there too. The tour's been hitting major cities like Atlanta. Houston, Los Angeles, and New York, all places where Baby Joe probably has fans who were expecting to see him. Instead, they're seeing Big B, Ben 10, and the rest of the crew, but no Baby Joe. One thing Baby Joe's been brutally honest about is how his pride's been playing a role in this whole situation. He admitted that even if there was an opportunity to reconcile with YoungBoy, his pride might be holding him back from making the first move. My pride, probably the biggest one. You know, that's really what it is. My pride, the biggest one, he said in one of his interviews. This is some real street psychology right here. In the hood, your pride and your reputation are everything. When someone accuses you of stealing, especially someone you considered family, that cuts deep. It's not just about the money, it's about the disrespect, the lack of trust. The assumption that you would betray someone you love. Baby Joe explained that he could pull up on YoungBoy face to face and they could talk. But right now he's just feeling hurt and letting the situation be what it is. He's not pushing the issue, not trying to force a reconciliation, just letting YoungBoy do his thing while he figures out his own path. You know, I'm just feeling hurt, brother. You feel what I'm saying? So right now, I'm just letting it be. I'm just letting it be what it be. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really pushing the issue like that. That hurt is real, and you can hear it in his voice when he talks about the situation. This ain't just business for him. This was family. When family turns on you, especially publicly, that pain hits different than regular beef or industry politics. While YoungBoy's been getting richer and more successful, Baby Joe's situation has been completely different. He's back in the hood dealing with the same streets that both he and YoungBoy were trying to escape from in the first place. Baby Joe's been honest about his current situation. He recently got out of jail on some old charges, nothing too serious, just some stuff from when he was younger that he stopped going to court for. He said it was really after he got shot that his court dates got delayed and he started forgetting about them until it all caught up with him. Now he's trying to get his music career back on track. But it's not easy when you don't have that machine behind you anymore. When you don't have that BBG support system that helped launch your career in the first place. Everything becomes 10 times harder. He's been working on new music, trying to build his own label called Wobble Records, and attempting to create his own path in the industry. He's got plans for 2 new projects, one called All On Me and another called Open Book. The titles alone tell you where his head's at. He's ready to take full responsibility for his situation and be completely transparent about everything he's been through. But let's be real, going from being part of one of the hottest crews in hip-hop to trying to make it as an independent artist is a major adjustment. When you were part of BBG, you had built-in promotion, built-in features, built-in everything. Now Baby Joe's got to build all that from scratch. The financial struggle is real, too. While he won't get into specifics about his money situation, you can read between the lines. He's not living that tour life anymore, not getting those BBG checks, not part of that YoungBoy money machine that's been generating millions. He mentioned getting a nice sizable check recently, but when asked about it, he played it smart. Never let a person know what's in your pockets. Man, that's street wisdom right there, but it also suggests that whatever money he got, he's being careful with it because he knows it might have to last a while. Some people have been saying that Baby Joe's been begging YoungBoy to take him back, that he's desperate to get back in good graces because he's broke and needs that BBG money again. When you look at some of his interviews and social media posts, you can see why people might think that. Baby Joe's been very public about his support for YoungBoy. Even while they're not speaking, he's been praising them off the tour, talking about how proud he is of YoungBoy's success and making it clear that he doesn't have any hate in his heart. I'm always that one thing about me, man, I'm loyal, bro. I'm mad at the situation, I'm never mad at the person, he said, showing that even though he's hurt by what happened, he's still got love for YoungBoy as a person. Some people see this as genuine love and support for someone he still considers family, but others see it as a man who's down bad, trying to get back in YoungBoy's good graces by showing public loyalty, hoping that eventually YoungBoy will forgive him and bring him back into the fold. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Baby Joe probably does genuinely love and support YoungBoy. That brotherhood they had was real, and you can't just turn that off overnight. But at the same time, he's probably also hoping that this public support might help repair their relationship, which would obviously benefit him financially and career-wise. When he talks about potentially linking back up with YoungBoy, you can hear the hope in his voice. We might end up linking up soon, but I can't leave the state. You know what I'm saying? I'm stuck right now. What makes the situation even more complicated is the industry politics involved. Baby Joe mentioned that he's been getting calls from people telling him to stop talking about the situation publicly, that he's doing too much by trying to explain himself to blogs and social media. These calls have been coming from people in both camps, folks who think he should just let
financially
sleeping
and
dogs lie
career-wise.
and move
When
on
he
with his
talks
life.
about potentially
But Baby Joe's
linking
been
back up
struggling
with
with that
YoungBoy,
advice
you
because
can
his
hear the
reputation
hope in
is on
his
the
voice.
line.
We might
Stealing
end
is
up
major.
linking up soon,
Like,
but
that's
fall out the
major.
tour.
That's major.
I can't leave.
So
I
yeah,
can't
that's a
leave
hard
to stay.
jacket to wear.
You know what I'm
You feel
saying?
me?
I'm stuck
Like
right
stealing
now.
from your boys.
What makes
That's
this
like 3 hard
situation
jackets
even
to
more
just put on.
complicated is the
You feel
industry
me?
politics
I'd rather
involved.
take before I
Baby Joe
steal.
mentioned
Baby
that
Joe
he's been
said that
getting
that's some
calls
real
from
talk right
people
there.
telling him to
In
stop
street
talking
culture,
about the
your word
situation
and your
publicly,
reputation
that
are
he's doing
everything.
too much by
Once
trying
people
to
start
explain
questioning your
himself to
integrity,
blogs and
it's
social
hard to
media.
get that back.
These calls
Being
been coming
labeled a
from
thief
people in
affects
both
how people
camps.
see you,
Folks who
how they
think
do
he should
business
just
with
let
you,
sleeping
and
dogs
ultimately how
lie
you
and
move in your
move on with
community.
his life.
Baby
But
Joe
Baby
also
Joe been
mentioned that his
struggling with
childhood
that
friends
advice
have been
because his
reaching out,
reputation
telling
is
him
on
he's
the
talking
line.
too much,
Stealing
trying
is
to
major.
explain
Like, that's
himself to
major.
people
That's
who don't
major.
really
So yeah,
matter.
that's a hard
But for
jacket to
him,
wear.
it's not
You
about the
feel me?
blogs
Like
or the
stealing
social
from
media
your boys,
comments.
that's like
It's
3
about
hard
clearing his
jackets
name
to
for
just
his
put on.
kids,
You feel
for
me?
his family,
I'd rather
for the
take
people who
before I
really know
steal,
him.
Baby
I got
Joe
little
said.
boys.
That's some real
If I'm
talk
having
right
kids,
there.
you
In
know,
street
and they
culture,
gotta
your
come up under
word
that's
and your
Baby Joe's
reputation
son,
is
I don't want that
everything.
blemished
And
at all
once
for
people
them.
start questioning
Just
your
for those little
integrity,
dudes that come
it's
up,
hard to
they'll
get that
know.
back.
You know,
Being
my
labeled
dad
a
was a
thief
solid boy,
affects how
man.
people see you,
So where do
how they
things
do
stand right
business
now?
with you, and
YoungBoy's been
ultimately
continuing
how
his
you can move
success,
in your
selling
community.
out shows,
Baby Joe
making hit
also
records,
mentioned that
and
his
building his
childhood
empire
friends
bigger
been
than
leaving. Some
ever.
people been
The
saying that
Massa
Baby
tour's been
Joe
so
been
successful
begging
that he'll
YoungBoy to
probably
take him
keep
back,
touring and
that
making
he's
that money while
desperate
he
to get
can.
back in good
He's
graces
got his core
because he's
team
broke
around him,
and
Big
needs
B,
that
Ben
BBG
10,
money
and the
again.
rest of the
When you
crew,
look at
and the
some of his
BBG
interviews
machine's
and
been
social
running
media
smooth
posts,
without Baby
you can see
Joe.
why people
Meanwhile,
might think that.
Baby
Baby
Joe's been
Joe
trying
been
to
very
rebuild his
public
career
about
from
his support for
scratch,
YoungBoy,
working on new
even
music
while
with
they
his
not
Return of the
speaking.
Gorilla
He's been
project that he
praising the
says has
Massa
been doing
tour,
some nice
talking
little
about how
numbers.
proud he is
He's
of
attempting to
YoungBoy's
move
success
forward despite
and
the
making
cloud
it
hanging
clear
over
that
his
he don't have
reputation,
no hate
but
in
it's
his
clearly
heart.
been a
I'm
struggle.
always that one
The
thing about
relationship
me,
between them
man.
seems to
I'm
be in a
loyal,
weird
bro.
limbo.
I'm mad
They're
at the
not actively
situation.
beefing,
I never
but they're
mad
also
at the
not
person,
cool like they
he
used to
said,
be.
showing
Baby
that
Joe's
even
been
though
holding
he's
out
hurt by
hope
what
that
happened,
eventually they'll
he's
link
still
back
got
up.
love for YoungBoy
We might
as a
end up
person.
linking.
Some people
Up
see
soon,
this as
he said in
genuine
one
love and
interview,
support
though
for
he also
someone he still
acknowledged that his
considers
legal
family.
situation
But
makes it
others see it
difficult
as
for
a
him
man
to
who's
travel or
down
be part of
bad,
any tour
trying to get back in
activities.
YoungBoy's
There's
good
also the
graces by
question of
showing
whether
public
YoungBoy
loyalty,
even wants to
hoping that
reconcile.
eventually YoungBoy
He's been
would
focused
forgive
on his
him and bring
business
him
and might
back
not
into
see the
the
need to
fold.
revisit
The
old
truth is
drama,
probably
especially
somewhere
when
in the
things have been
middle.
going so
Baby
well
Joe
for him
probably do
career-wise.
genuinely love
So there
and
you
support YoungBoy.
have it,
That
fam.
brotherhood
The
they
complete
had was
breakdown
real,
of this
and
whole
you can't
BBG
just
Baby
turn that
Joe
off
and NBA
overnight. But
YoungBoy
at the same
situation
time,
that's got the
he's
hip-hop world
probably also
talking.
hoping that
From
this
day one,
public
homies
support
grinding
might
in
help
Baton Rouge
repair their
studios to this
relationship,
complicated
which
mess
would
we got now.
obviously
It's
benefit
been a
him
wild
financially.
ride that shows how money and success can destroy even the strongest bonds. The $70,000 controversy might seem like it's just about money, but it's really about trust, loyalty, and how pride can keep people apart even when they probably still love each other. Whether you believe Baby Joe's story about YoungBoy being too intoxicated to remember giving him the money, or you think there's more to the situation, one thing's clear: this drama reveals the dark side of brotherhood in the music industry. What y'all think about Baby Joe's explanation? Do you believe he's telling the truth, or is this just a desperate attempt to get back in YoungBoy's good graces? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if this breakdown helped you understand what's really going on, and subscribe for more content exposing all the drama in hip-hop. Until next time, stay safe out there, and remember, in these streets, your reputation is everything. Peace.